this movement, yes, we're doing here, right? We're doing here. But here's his blade, right? Here's his blade. It takes very little, look, very little. Say that for me, very little for me to get this. It's right, look, it's right there. It's right there. All right, so yes, this way I can do this also, but this takes a little different finesse. Okay, this way it takes almost nothing. It's in there. See that? So we're using it also for defending. So those of you who have attended the double-edged sword, you know there's a lot of movements cutting this way. You use on both sides, right? So the back cutting is the same. The knife. He does outside slash. See that? See that? Right there. I do slow motion. So look. And of course, look at my angle. I cover this, and my blade, look, right into the ribs. It's going to fit right, even if I have a cheap blade, it's going to fit right in between the ribs this way. Right? So when I cut, I'm coiled right in. In fact, when he's coming, it's in there like that. See that? If he comes, right, if you can see it coming wide, you got it. And once you're in range between the arm, I already cut this. This blade should be gone, drop blade, but because I cut. When I do this, I cut right here or right here. See that? He drops his blade. I keep this tight so I can control the body here, and I pull this as I come in. Right? Ribs or armpit. Armpit. Then from here, when you pull down, this pulls down too, and here I am. If his hand's in the way, that's okay. Hand in the way. Okay, drop your hand. By the way, in the beginner's handbook, you know the story about the person that had their fingers cut off, throat slashed, stabbed 18 times, right? So the person who did it had these skills. It wasn't me. But the person who did it had these skills, right? Because Alan was a 5th Dan. He was a tournament champion. He was very good. He was a good fighter. But the person who did it was a good killer. And he was a professional killer, by the way. So anyway, so, see that? So this kind of movement, this movement is going to be new for most of you. Using the blade this way is going to be new for most of you. And you know, this kind of stuff is rarely ever seen. It's kept secret, but it is taught in the most elite special forces in Korea. It is. In fact, you can even find, if you find some original, old, real, rather older movies that were made in Japan about martial arts or samurai, you will see the blade this way. It's very rare, but in fact, even the movie Ran, like Kurosawa, the movie Ran, one of the warlord's wife, the wife used the blade the right way. In fact, she takes his blade. His blade is here. In the same way, we talk about with the sword, how to lunge for the face before the cut, with the empty hand, how to lunge for the face for the thrust. She was walking, passing the helmet. She was bringing him the helmet. So this is rightfully yours. And she throws a helmet in his face. So what's she doing? The same principle. Then she takes the blade, and she got him. So that's a good. If you haven't seen Ryan, it's a good movie, by the way. So now understand in and out. Same thing. Inside, right? See, as soon as I cut, I got that. But now inside is more deadly for him. Because watch. My blade here, remember the low? We do low. We cut going in. See that? We cut going in, but then we cut coming out. See that? This way. So what's that mean? We go in, cut, and then we hook this way, out. Right? Once you have that, we have the hourglass and collapse happening. Collapse, hourglass, go ahead, and collapse, grab your groin. That's where the hand's going, right? And what happens there? Right, finito. Now, the same way we have vertical, I talked about horizontal, right? And the same thing is outside and inside. So watch. The same thing, we can go in And I can turn this way, see that? And cut right here, see that? Let me see that? Yeah, cutting out this way. So I have to see the black on black. I'm gonna have to use a real blade. Oh, okay. Okay, there you go, good. Okay, so when I cut in, let me see, yeah, I can see that better. And then we turn, see that? Cutting this way, right? Which causes a collapse. Collapse that knee, collapse, see that? Look, collapse, right from here, right? So watch, there, collapse. Right from there, I pull this, see that? See this here? That little movement sets this up. Okay, we did with number 2, or 3, 4, 5. So these are the skills you need if you're dealing with people who want to kill you. If you're dealing with a real attacker, okay, who's strong, vicious, cold, hard, and plans to do you dirty. Same thing if you have multiple. You got 2 or 3 attackers. What good is this? You're caught off guard, it's knife in your throat. But you were definitely sleeping if it got here, right? What good is this? And you got 2 attackers, now you have a knife. And they go like, oh, he knows something. Then he grabs a pipe. Another guy's pull out their knives. Now what do you do with this? That's why you have to learn this. Okay, so now, once again, we have the reverse, cutting outside, cutting inside. So the same thing, not just cutting an extended arm, right? Not just blocking, right? So now, watch. When I attack this way, block. So you block that, right? So watch. See my blade? Look. On the way out. So look, I cut on the way out. See that? So here, I cut on the way out. Then, right? So look, I'm coming in, he blocks. Right? I cut on the way out. Right? I create imbalance. There's the opening. I get what I want. Don't want the ribs. Don't want the groin. Don't want the throat. I get what I want. So inside, cutting out. Same thing. I'm coming this way. Block. Okay, go on. Block the camera. I come see blocks. Look, he blocks. Look, he blocked. He did block. Right? So watch closely. Watch. Do you see that? See, look, he blocked. And I pull out, slicing. When this happens, bend your arm in, because the arm retreats. Done. So keep in mind, you were learning the higher level of how you can be attacked, so you can upgrade your knife defense skills, not be in fantasy land. Okay, so I go to cut this way, he blocks, right? I just pull, see that? I cut his hand or his wrist, and now I got him. You cannot defend against that. Same thing, let's say he blocks, so he's blocking more outer, right? I'll see it. What if he's blocking here, more inner? See that? Then I grab the outer. I grab here, see that? Cut, all right? See? Cut, and so you see the difference? When the parry was more outer, what did I do? I came more inside toward the inner gate, see that? And cut the hand, and then I came in. By the way, I come in the side, I also come from the back, under the groin and pull also. Now, when he blocked more inner, see that? Then I grab outer, see that? Look, that's all I have to do. It takes very little. That's all I have to do, and pull, right? And if you have your right hand techniques, this alone, see that I can control his body. Look, see I can control his body right from here because my locking technique is right. Okay, I can control that, but this guy's a serious killer. I stabbed him twice. It might have an effect. My friend Glover got stabbed twice before my eyes. It went like this. He was still fighting. So I do this, right? Come to the right cross. Ooh, see that? Because you can still get hit, right cross. Look. Ooh, understand? Right? Same thing, right cross. Right. Understand? So the fight isn't over because you hit somebody, and it's not over because you stabbed somebody. Okay, it's still on. A lot of times they don't even know they're stabbed. Glover was stabbed twice, and he was cut from here to here, 67 stitches. This, he realized, that was the third cut. The first two cuts, he thought he got poked. It was like it felt like a needle, like a pin, but it actually went in. So, cutting someone doesn't mean that they know they cut. It also doesn't mean that your cut was effective, unless you have the taipan or the peacekeeper or something of that kind of quality. Okay, so now low. I go low, he blocks, look, down block. See, look, down block. You see that? Look how easy this is. You see? Even if I just press down and pull, right? When I pulled out, I cut on the way up, right? So when I keep this way, right, I press down, I pull, right? That is why I'm not a favorite of, okay, do low thrust. Because most people practice freezing, right? Plus I'm in front of the blade, right? That's why we practice, right? Right outside. As soon as we make contact, we lock and throw that kick to the groin. Because that kick to the groin takes the focus out of here. Because if I do this and I do get this, right? This is a strong guy. He wants his hand back, okay? And it's a fraction of a second. So if I don't get this over in time, he has it back. Pulling halfway, look, at this. So now I could barely get out, right? And this is your half a second, pull. The other second, the other hand comes, bow. Understand? So that's why. So now, do the X block. So when both hands go down, my friend, both go down, look, see that? So look, they're both down. So see this blade? I simply got to pull, and I'm on top of his arms. Okay, so in real life, it kind of looks like this. I go in, I cut him. You can't see it. I cut his hand, right? I came in, right, and I have to throw the available. So that's just some. Thank you, Brad. That's just some of the advanced knife skills. You got to understand the yang to be able to execute the yin. You gotta understand the offense to have good defense. If your understanding of offense is on a level 1 and 2, that means that your level of defense can only be a level 1 or 2. If your understanding of offense is a level 5 or 6 or 7, that means now you have the opportunity to get your level of defense on level 6. 7, 8. That's how it works. So you have to have both. And now, a little more detail. So now, here's the blade. Here's my arm. We have the outer gate and the inner gate. The outer 4 quadrants and the inner 4 quadrants. So what's that mean? So here is where my knife is right now. It's the outer gate, right? So from my outer gate, I have left, right high, left, right low. All right? Left, right high, left, right low. This is my inner gate. And my inner gate, that's from the elbow to here. So my elbow is kind of in the midpoint. So the elbow to my body is the inner gate. And from here, I also have left, right high, that's inside, and I have left, right low, inside. Yes. And when I do this way, they just switched. So now my hand has left, right high on the outside, and left, right low on the outside, and my knife hand has left, right high on the inside, and left, right, low. Okay, so this correlates to the 8 trigrams. Like the 4 that you find on the Korean flag, that's 4, right? But they're 8. So now the same. So here, this position right here, it's the same thing, right? My outside hand block, high left, outside, right, outside, low left, outside, right, outside. My inner hand, look, inside, right, high left, look, outside, look. So it's the same. So this one can block out here, see that? It can block here, see that? It can block here, see that? It can block there. That's all outside. Closer in, look at this one, see that? So it can block here, see that? Look, it can block here. That's inside, see that? It can block here, see? Closer inside, right? It can block here. Thank you, Brad. Okay, so when you're doing your 1-steps, you have to get deep into your 1-steps. And when you do, right, all this, you should know now what's going on here. How you have the 4 quadrants, outer and inner, right? So when you're doing your 1-steps, right, it all makes sense. That's why you must go deeper. So now, with the knife, it's the same thing. When I'm this way, my knife is leading, and it's covering the outer quadrants, and my hand the inner quadrants. When I'm switching this way, my hand is leading. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to begin to practice in this position, hand leading first, right? Because in the basic form here, we're doing what? Right? There's a reason why it's called basics, because it's the basics. But the basics don't get you over the mountain. They just prepare you. Now you gotta march. So now, practice from here. This spear finger thrust. All right. So eyes. All right. Throat. Good. Practice from here. Eyes. Throat. But you have to make sure that you're not coming close to your other hand. That's why you practice basic form 1 and 2 a lot. Good. So you practice that. Then you practice the same thing. Because once again, opposites, right? Yin and yang. If we practice high thrust, what follows? Low thrust. And that's why in the form they follow each other, right? So after the high thrust, it's low thrust. So, low. Good. And. Good. So now, of course, if you can practice your side correctly, those movements are much easier. If you have not been practicing the forms that I've been giving you guys, a little more challenging when we get to the stuff that I got in my bag for you. All right, so here. High. As you're going forward, groin. And those who remember the sword training, it's the same thing. That initial movement, which causes the first danger, being startled. That's the first danger. There are many, but the first one is being startled. Next one is being too excited. I gotta get this. I gotta get in. Yeah, look at all the old samurai movies. The guy that went like, and got cut down. He just said, right, you got excited. Don't get excited. But number 1, startled. So we want to learn how to create that and make it work for us. We want to make being startled working for us as opposed to working against us, right? We want to use the opponent's force, the opponent's energy, the opponent's strength, the opponent's weakness, okay? Including if you have big ego, that works really well. So we have, and Good. So now, same thing. We need an open hand, right? That was open. What's the opposite of open hand? Close. Yin and yang. So now the same thing. High fist, low, right? Yeah, so high fist, low. So you practice both ways. Open hand, spear finger. Spear finger high and attacking high, throat. Spear finger high, attacking low, groin. And by the way, if you get these right, you don't need too many other ones, just the next two that are coming. So now we did, notice we did straight line, right? Going in, direct. What's the opposite of direct? Indirect, right? Or the circle inside, right? So now, same thing. You can do spear finger or closed hand, right? Depending on your training. Up and inside. So notice. Do you notice something? Oh, look, my palm is facing down. My palm's not facing up. Right? So why is it facing down? Because I'm using this part of the blade. See, I'm using this part of the blade. See that? I'm not in this position. I'm in this position. See that? So I'm doing. Now notice something else. Those of you who've been making the trainings, the classes, and also did the workshops, advanced hand skills. How did it start? Look my position. Look. See that? So it's the same movement. See, look. You see that? Right? So one, close or open. One, look at the blade. Up. Palm facing down. Okay. You have a double-edged blade. That's later. Okay. So this part has to cut in. By the way, so what I'm doing single edge first. Next time, next level is double edge. Does it make sense? Right? There's the progression. You learn high, you learn low. You learn inside, you learn outside. You learn single edge and then double edge. Each one prepares you for the next.